Man, it's crazy. I tried to log back to the other live broadcast that I was doing, and anyway, so we're back. We're back. I hope both of you, those of you who were on before I started, I hope you guys are able to join back here. Thank you. I see you, Anne. Thank you for joining in. I'm gonna wait for people. The other one has kind of logged up, so I hope people are able to come over to this side so we can continue. Thank you, Cassia Ann. Um, I know a lot of people, a few people are just gonna join, and we'll continue. Um, okay. Um, all right, good. All right, okay. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. Um, I don't know, for some reason, every time I try to do this video, something happens. I just can't explain it. Every time I try to do this video, something happens. Maybe your phone. Something, one thing or the other happens every time I try to do this video. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep on trying. I'm gonna keep on trying until I get what I wanna say out there. The primary reason why I'm doing this video and I keep pushing to try to do this video is because there's been a lot of questions that have been coming up out of this since we posted that video, since we did that interview with Miss Stephanie Otobo. People have just been calling in from all over the world. I mean, literally all over the world, and even people here in Toronto. I've been getting lots of backlash, lots of people cussing me off, lots of people sending me messages like, in fact, Robert have just turned the war to me, and they're facing me and picking quarrels with me. I've also had lots of support from all over the world. People have been calling in from several places, and I really appreciate the people who have been calling in. Now, it wouldn't even, for those of you who just keep on bashing me and telling me all kinds of things and sending me threats and all that. It's just what it is. When you're in this business, such things are expected. Anyway, what I want us to know is that this story is not going away. It's not going away soon until we find the truth. It's either the girl is lying and is blackmailing the Apostle Suleman and is trying to extort money from him for whatever reason, and that it was premeditated, it was pre-planned. Either that is the truth, or that the Apostle Suleiman actually had an affair with her and is using every means necessary to try to shut her up. These are the two possibilities. These are the two things that could possibly happen. Now, with any of those, we would continue to give our very best perspective to all of these things that are going on. Now, some of the questions that people have raised as I started discussing a few minutes ago are questions like, how are we sure the bank statement that was shown us is real? And for that, I told them you can always go to ask anybody who works in the bank in Nigeria, and they'll be able to tell you whether that bank statement was or is real or not. Or don't get me wrong, you can forge anything now. You can forge any document you want. You can forge it, but then the onus is on the person who is being reported as having sent money to that account to prove that they did not send money into that account. It would be nice for the bank to also print a statement from their account, from that account number, and for us to see that, excuse me, there was no such transaction within that period of time, because there's a bank number there. I mean, we can easily see that the money was sent from somebody's account. So it's a two-way thing. There will be a record from where the money originated, just as we have a record of where the money ended. It's easy. This 2017, we're all smart people, right? So it's very easy to know. You can get this kind of things. There's a date. There's a date stamp for that transfer, so it is easy to know if the girl made it up and she's lying, or if it actually happened. So that is about the transfer of the money. I am not saying, and this is important that people understand, I am not saying that she is right or she is wrong. I'm just saying that these are verifiable facts. These are facts that you can verify. Very easy. So instead of people just talking and just blowing hot air and just resorting to insulting people, you can always check out any evidence that you suspect. That's what you can do. Now, concerning during the interview, some people were asking what was the essence of that interview. Why did we start interviewing the girl? The reason why we interviewed the girl was because we felt someone like Apostle Suleman does great ministry, has a great ministry, has a big ministry, and because of his base, we feel that, and from what we have been seeing online, we felt that they didn't have a fair playing ground in terms of presenting their cases, because he was making his case through his organization, through his media, and he has a big network. But Miss Otobo on the other side doesn't really have a lot of network. Okay. Hold on. Somebody said something. It's a great work, Chidi. Even if people think she made up the account statement, she can sign into her account online. With that, will she also forge the account statement in her online bank platform? Of course. The judge just has to order for that account from the bank, straight from the bank. They will send the account statement not to Stephanie but to the court. The court will just get it. The police can get it. Anybody can get that statement of account. So let's just leave that aside. Thank you, Adelaja Oluwatobi Loba Daniel. Thank you so much for that contribution. Now, people ask, why did we do that? We just wanted to give a voice to someone that we thought didn't have a voice. She has already hit rock bottom. She was already condemned in the court of public opinion. We've called her a prostitute, we've called her a harlot, we've called her a stripper, and all of those things. We've called her an adulterer. The funny thing is, she never denied any of those. She accepted that. She never even tried to claim that she was holy. She's always been somebody who says, okay, I'm a sinner, I did all of this, but excuse me, what I want is for an apology to be tendered to me. That is based on the fact that she is saying that her story is true, while the apostle on the other side says he is framed and he's blackmailed, and all of the things that she is saying is a lie. So we just wanted to give her a platform to be able to talk. And also, being a Torontonian, I explained this in the video, but people keep asking me the question, why? So that's why I'm offering these answers. If you watch the video, if you watch the interview, we started by saying this is what we're doing. So I'm actually surprised when people keep telling me that why they still keep asking me that question. Why did you do this? Why are you doing this? So that's the reason why we did what we did. She's from Toronto. We needed her to, after being through the kind of trauma that she went through in Nigeria, where she had to be locked up at the Kirikiri maximum prison. Man, and don't misunderstand me when I say this, but if you're living in Canada, I don't care who you are, living in Toronto, and you travel from Canada and you end up in Kirikiri maximum prison, the adjustment is going to be terrible. So, on the humanitarian side, we just wanted to be able to give her some respite um, from the ordeal that she faced in Nigeria. Now, other issues, other questions that keep coming up. People keep asking, "How are you sure that the money she was talking about was transferred to her?" And I say, Kingsley Hannibal says, "Since all of you are busy interviewing the girl, how many of you ever think of hearing from the apostle?" Thank you, Mr. Kingsley Hannibal. Now, because we wanted to be fair to everybody, I had reached out to the Omega Fire Ministries church here in Toronto, because they have a church here in Toronto, and kind enough, I did a lot of research. I found the online phone number and I called it, and it happened to be the former pastor of the church. Actually, the resident pastor of that church in 2015, the period that Miss Stephanie Otobo was talking about. I spoke with him. His name is Pastor Caleb Abbas. Pastor Caleb Abbas. Caleb said, Chidi, it's nice talking to you. Please, let's find time to talk. This was on Friday and then Thursday of last week. So we arranged to meet at the breakfast meeting of Nigerian Canadian Christian Ministers Forum here in Toronto. It's a forum where pastors and ministers come together and network with each other. So we met at that place and we had a very fruitful discussion. I also got a number of the present resident pastor of the church. I got his number through a church member. Actually, Kenny Bazwai gave me the number. I got it from the wife. He and I was able to talk to him. When I spoke with him, excuse me, they were glad that I got in touch with the church, and he connected me by phone to the Canadian coordinator of the church, who is these names they're all in my phone. I'm using my phone for the live broadcast. I would have just flipped and shown you their names, but these people, I spoke with them. They were very nice. We had a very, very cordial interview, a very cordial discussion on the phone. And guess what? We fixed an appointment for Tuesday. So on Tuesday, we're going to be talking. And Eken Sazubike, His Royal Highness Eken Sazubike says, "May I know whose interest do you represent in this matter, if I may ask?" Now, Honorable Eken Sazubike, I'm sure that you are aware that I'm the president of the Nigerian Canadian Association. By virtue of my position as the president of our community here, anything that has to do with every member of our community is of interest to me. I am also interested in the Church of Jesus Christ. I am a Christian, I'm a minister. So anything that happens to a member of the body of Christ is a burden to me. If one of us is going through trial, I am also a part of that trial. If one of us is being put to shame, the shame, I'm affected by that. So if we have a scandal, the magnitude of what we are having, and people think it doesn't matter, people think it's something slight, I don't think that. I don't think so. Because the way the outcome of this case is going to affect people in church, is going to impact people in the household of Jesus Christ. So that is my interest in this matter. I hope I've answered your question. His Honorable Highness Ekensa Zubike. So that is who that's whose interest I represent. Okay. So I was talking about I was trying to answer someone who said, "Did I try to reach out to the church?" And I said, "I have reached out to the church. If we're able to have that interview, I will also post it so that people will hear what they have to say." And Azubika says, "The reason I ask is here in Canada, I am an international security expert and as an investigator." Okay. So, sir, go ahead. Maybe you can say something else because you just said you're an international security expert and investigator. So, okay, I'll wait for you to write more so I understand where you're going. And then some other people have said that what about the other monies that were sent? How come do we know about those monies? If you go back to that interview, she talked about monies that were transferred. She mentioned names. Those of you living in Toronto, Canada, you know that we have people who help us to transfer money. We have people like Mr. Emmanuel Emodi. He owns a company and they do transfers for people in Nigeria. You can give them money here and they can transfer it. They can help give some pay it out in Nigeria, and then someone can pay you in Nigeria and you receive it here. Amen Money does that business. We also have some other people who are engaged in this kind of business. The chairman of the Nigerian Canadian Association Board of Directors, Mr. Nsa Achibong, he does that too. And we have Francis Energy, who also does this money transfer business. Now, this girl talked about is it Olugbenga or some? She called a name of the guy who was doing the money transfer for her, and she said the guy stays. His office is behind Eddie Stone. We all know where this place is, so we can check it out. And you know if you've used the services of that person. Not to say the person is bad. He's not bad, but I mean that is the person through whom an exchange was done. So anybody can always just check it out. These are verifiable facts. And if you look in that statement of account, you will actually see the person's name, that monies were transferred through that person to Miss Stephanie. Okay? So that's about the money transfer. And then some people say, how are you sure that the picture that was taken in the hotel were real? Why would she just start? How are you sure that just because she took the picture of money that is for real? I don't know if it is for real or not. What I know is that she said when they were in the hotel, the apostle gave her the money and told her to take a picture and just show her friends. And that's when she took that picture. She wasn't ever thinking that it was going to be needed someday in a case. And then people ask, how come she did not take a picture with the man? She never took a picture with the man. How come that is so? And she said the reason is because he said he never wanted any kind of pictures. Silver Jerry, thank you for watching. Katia Valino, welcome to the show. Thank you for tuning in. I must say you did a very good job, Katia Valino. Pastor Ebi Fineface from Nigeria, thank you, Pastor Ebi. Joy Beke, Jacqueline, thank you guys. Thank you everybody for joining in. Drop me a question and I'll be willing to answer you whatever question you have. A case as we can say, as an investigator, I strongly believe, on my opinion, that something must have happened between her and the person. You just said my mind. Thank you, sir. You say something must have happened. My brother, you see, the funny thing is, and I'm not putting anybody down, I'm actually very, very concerned. You see, if you have had the opportunity that we have, of living in a country like Canada where there's freedom of expression, where people's rights are respected, you will reason differently. What I find is that in Nigeria, it's amazing how people have been thinking from people's reactions and comments online. We're, we're not even seeing um, that people should categorically say this is a lie or this is true. But I am worried at the like people completely don't want to think. They don't want to reason. They don't want to be objective. They just cuss you out for, like, they don't even want to, they just don't even want to use their heads. Some people in Nigeria, I'm telling you, and it amazes me. And these are people who are in church. They say, the Bible says, touch not my anointed, do my prophet no harm. Cassia says, will the case only be tried in Nigeria? How do we know if Suleman will tip the justice to win? Well, this girl has lawyers in Canada. It's become an international case, so it's not just gonna be Nigeria. She's also thank you, Ken Sazubika. You're making a very valid point. The girl has a lawyer here in Canada. They are also actually preparing a lawsuit to file against the minister, and she's also a citizen of this country. I mean, she's a landed immigrant, and she has a PR card, so she's a citizen of Canada, and Canada will not just sit back and watch you maltreat any of their citizens. So it may not only be tried in Nigeria. According to them, the apostle may have a case to answer here in Canada, but we'll just keep on watching. Again, Nano Koroji, thank you for joining in. A lot of people have come under a lot of attack, from my community. I'm an Igbo man, and people recently attacked me, and they said that an attack on Suleman is an attack on anybody who is a Christian, and anybody who is an attack on anybody who is from the East. No, 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 no. Azubike, I think you're wrong when you say that there's nothing Canada can do on this matter. There is something that Canada can do, and it's actually being done. There are facts, so check your facts very well. There's something that's being done, but I'll leave it at that. He said, I hope we will start thinking. I hope we will start thinking as a people. Yes, Daniel, I hope so too. Chico Zionia says, please, guy, good to know a bit of what you are saying. How did she come up with the alleged case for the apostle? How did she come up with the alleged case for the apostle? I will just advise you, Ms. Chigozionya, to go and watch the interview. Watch the interview carefully. Watch part 1 and part 2, and you see where she talked about the case. I can't start. It's her story, not mine. So when you watch the video, you'll be able to see how it all came about. Okay, that's what I would just advise you to know. Joy Baker said, I honestly don't know a thing about this case. Because review a bit because I'm lost. Joy, just go to my page, scroll down, and you would see where we're talking about the case. And also, you can go online. It's all over the place on YouTube. Google the latest about Apostle Suleman or Miss Otobo, and you would update yourself on the case. It's okay, again. Let's leave their lawyers to tackle this. Or you want me to post the link? I'm gonna ask Erica to kindly post the link here so people can see the link for the video. I'm sure Katia, and also if you go to katiavalino.com, Katia Valino was the Katia Valino is a top Toronto blogger. She was the one that helped us with interviewing Miss Stephanie Otobo. So if you go on Katia Valino's blog, you'll be able to see all the links and all the things she has featured concerning this story. Um, it's okay, Ken. Let's like I said, let's leave the lawyers to tackle the case. I'm not a lawyer. All I'm doing is some kind of social service. That's what I'm doing. So let's just leave it at that. Um, so like I was saying, people kept asking me what was the big deal. I think I've talked about the big deal. Um, People talked about the money in the hotel and all that, and I said, and then people also asked a question and said, how come we call the mother and the father? I'd just like to say here that sometimes when you're trying to bring something to the front burner, you do certain things. I don't think I can't stand here and say that calling her mother on the phone and the father on the phone is that we're completely, absolutely, 100% right. I cannot say that. And what I would like to say on behalf of my organization is that we really apologize for where we did not do right, but we wanted to bring something out, and we can only be proud that we brought that thing out, because the mother had gone to church, and her statement in church had seemed to affect the case and had seemed to throw more confusion into the whole case, because she had gone there to say, oh, my daughter, what my daughter did was not true, forget about her, forgive her, drop the case. I wanted to be able to establish that when the mother went to that church, what she did was, look, she's just a mother. In fact, whenever I listen to that interview and just listen to the voice of her mother calling her daughter by her native name, and pleading and saying, God go bless you, God go bless you, God go bless you. I beg, leave this matter, leave this man alone, leave this man alone. When you see her talking like that, you just know that she just had to go and plead, do anything just to get the daughter, just to make them leave the daughter. That's all she was doing. Okay, 1 second, please. So that's what she was doing. So that's why I wanted for people to hear her talking with the daughter. This is under no pressure. You heard her talking to the daughter, and that was it. And I think Katia Valino did a good job. I did my best too. But that's, if we didn't do that interview when we did it, how we did it, it would have been a different story now, because there was overwhelming. It was overwhelming negativity towards her, and her life was actually being put in jeopardy, because I mean, the way she was being presented, a lot of people were willing to even harm her for what they perceived as complete lies that she trumped against the man of God. Ken says, just extramarital affairs gone wrong, nothing more. Okay, we could leave them at that too. Again, people were asking a question. Somebody says, I'm just trying to read from my desktop. It says, so what if it happened? So what? What's she trying to prove? Was it wrong with what is wrong with the world? What if he asked God for forgiveness and moved on? pastors are humans too. Kevin Fineface says, I'm trying to get the importance of the invite of this live. Why expend energy in trying to do public trial of a case already in court? Okay. Fireface, I'll tell you why it is important that we are doing this. A case is in court. The case is in court, Fireface, but nothing stops us from talking like we are talking. We're still human beings, and we're witnesses to what is happening. The reason why we're doing this is because on the public court or on social media where we're interacting, we are all trying to be able to analyze this case because it's impacting. Hold on, let me plug my charger. It's impacting our full other church members, other Christians that are of the same faith like you and me. What is going on is impacting them. It has a huge impact, Mr. Fineface, because if what is put out there is true, it is important that we talk about it. If it is a lie, it's important that we also talk about it. We are the body of Christ. We should be able to talk to ourselves. Didn't the Bible say that we should be the ones to judge ourselves? That because we are going to be the one. Remember, the Bible even told us not to rely on the court outside, because we are the ones. We in the house of the Lord will be the ones judging those people out there in the world. Okay, so we that have the authority over those outside should be able to judge ourselves of the house of God. So discussing about it, talking about it, it's nothing wrong with it. Let the law courts do what they're doing. We will not commit contempt of court. If they tell us not to talk about a particular thing, we will not talk. But my dear brother, what is happening has a huge impact on the Church of Christ. Haven't you heard people say, we cannot talk about a man of God because they're a man of God? I think that is very wrong. What we have done is that we have made men of God, we have made them look like gods, and it is not being fair to them. Most men of God are not accountable to anybody. Fineface, you know this more than me, that the worst thing that can happen to you is if you do not have anybody that you are accountable to. You, Fineface, you know that if I catch you doing anything anywhere that is out of line, if I have to fight you and tear your clothes, you know I will do that. The same thing with me. You know that I know that if you find me doing anything that resembles misbehavior, you're going to stop me, you're going to trash me, you're going to stop me on my tracks, because we're accountable to each other. That's what the church should be. We shouldn't keep people in a position where we say, don't touch them, don't ask them questions, don't do this, don't do. Then if they see that nobody is able to ask them any question, then it leads to so many things that we see happening in our churches today, especially in Nigeria. And now I'll tell you what is my opinion, what I think this whole thing was all about. Katia Velino said, let them know that it is pastor that is suing her for 1 billion naira, and said it's a blackmail. Okay, yeah, that is true. People keep thinking it's actually the pastor that is suing her now for 1 billion. She has a case to go and answer back home about the 1 billion. People don't seem to know this. They keep saying drop the case, drop the case. She says it's actually the pastor that needs to drop the case against her. This is just a piece of information that we just needed to put out there. So there you go. You know that now that it is the pastor, it's the apostle who is actually suing her. Anyways, my battery is low. I hope I can hold on for long. Let me read some other questions here. He never separated the gift from the person. Look at this man as God, okay? And just like you handle your family matter, let Christians handle their family matter. Yeah, let Christians handle their matter. I want to sponsor a bill at National Assembly for all church owners that make more than 2 million naira should declare their asset. My brother, we really here in Canada. When I moved over to Canada to live here with my wife, when we relocated to Canada, I was so amazed as how things are so different from how we practice Christianity back home. And I'm not trying to attack the church, but over here, pastors are truly accountable to the church board. I know that in Nigeria, a lot of churches, the pastor is not accountable to anybody. The board is just the board is just window dressing. The board cannot challenge the pastor. The board cannot stop the pastor. In fact, the board will the pastor will actually change a member of the board who doesn't agree with him or her. So if you have that kind of board, how can you be accountable to them? You see what I'm saying? So we need to really, and if we do that, we'll be able to help our ministers. All right. Now, let me tell you my position, how I see all of this thing. God is not an author of confusion. God is a perfect God. What I think has happened is because Apostle Suleman is a fiery man of God. He's a fiery man of God. He really he had been very vocal against Christians being he had been very vocal about Christians being marginalized, and he spoke so much against that marginalization. I think that excuse me. I think that the reason why all this came about, and this is speaking from a Christian perspective and a spiritual angle, the reason why I think all this happened is because he brought himself out as someone who was fighting for the gospel. Now, if you're going to do that kind of thing, usually it comes with a lot of challenges. So I think what is happening to him is he is facing all this because of the position that he has taken. Now, what needs to happen next is, will he pass the test that he is going through? And that is what we should all be praying for him to do. He needs to pass this test. Either way it happens, either way it goes. If it is that he is being framed, it is important that the whole world sees how he is reacting in this time, under this condition. His utterances, his actions, everything is being put under the telescope by the whole world, by non-Christians. The way we handle it will actually portray who we are as Christians. Now, Kevin says, Chidi, you didn't finish my question and respond in full. Every man, be it pastor or not, should be accountable, no doubt, but we should know what meddlesome is and act more responsibly as ambassadors. Kevin, I'm trying to open your comment, but every time I tap it, something happens. I'm not able to see it. Okay, hold on. I'm seeing it. Meddlesome. I don't subscribe to irresponsible and unaccountable lifestyle of pledges, but I am objective to reasonableness. Kevin, what kind of meddlesomeness do we see? Let me attack you front and center. I don't care how you take this fine face. I'm disappointed with us in Nigeria. You know that things are happening in Nigeria. People are scared to speak up. You know why they are scared to speak up? And I can't blame them, because nobody wants to die. I don't want to die either. But people have been muzzled down. People are not talking. A lot of evil, a lot of things are wrong in our country, Nigeria. But people are not talking. Something like this is happening. We see it all over. Nobody's being objective. I talk about it and you say I'm meddling. Did I meddle into the affairs of Muslims? Did I meddle into the affairs of... This is my house. This is the house. This is my house. This is my father's house, for God's sake. How dare you say I'm meddling when I'm talking about my father's house? Kevin, you know me very well. I'm a child of God. I'm a minister of the gospel. I am here. I would defend this gospel if anything will bring about the tarnishing of the image of this. Let me tell you something. No man of God, no person is so highly placed, is so important that I will I'm trying to use the right word. I'm more concerned with the gospel, with saving the church. The church is bigger than the church of Christ is not any but you don't think it's people who own churches that I care about. I don't care about them. They own churches, but now they are turning themselves into God. People are hungry. People are hungry. Monies are being collected from Nigeria is already hard. Situations are hard. So people who keep collecting money from poor people and you people in Nigeria cannot talk about it, and I talk about it from Canada. God damn it, man! You cannot tell me that I'm meddling. I'm not meddling. And if that's what you call meddling, I will continue to meddle until you people in Nigeria become responsible enough to rise up and talk about your nation. How can you be telling me about you really got to be in fine face? Don't tell me nonsense. When we were in school, we stood up and we spoke against evil in our country. The whole youth in Nigeria, you people just sit down there, things will be happening, they killing young people, politicians are stealing money, they are just eating fat on your resources. You're from the south. How many people in south have oil blocks? People are sitting down there and telling me I'm meddling. I will meddle. Let me at least meddle in the one that I can meddle. I don't know about. Don't even get me started. Don't even get me started at all. We're just weaklings in Nigeria. Everybody, how old are you? Everybody within. What future do your kids have in Nigeria? What future do your kids have? Do you know what is good? Do you know how low we have fallen? You wake up in the morning, you cannot eat. You cannot even eat bread. You can't eat cake. You can't drink pop. You can look here in Canada. You can drink a whole big pop of. I can eat big chicken. It's cheap. It is so cheap. Don't let me use foul language here. You have oil. Go and look at Kuwait. You know how much money you have, and you know the people that steal this money, and they steal it everywhere. They steal it in church, they steal it in National Assembly, they steal it everywhere, and you guys are not talking. And when I'm talking, you're telling me I'm meddling. For God's sake, I'll meddle, and you guys should be ashamed of yourself. What are you telling me? Nonsense. If you are within the age of 20 to from 18 years to 45 years, and you are not talking about, you own the country, you own the resources of the country. It's not people who are 70 years. You have people who are 70 years, 80 years. They are running you guys down. They are driving big cars. They are traveling abroad. All their kids are how many of your kids are abroad? All their kids are abroad. They buy houses here in Toronto. They travel all over the place. Do you know how much they have in bank account? How much does it? What are you guys telling me? They do these things in churches, they do it everywhere. You guys are not talking, and if somebody talks, you have the guts to challenge me and say I'm meddling. You guys should be ashamed of yourself, Biko. What are you telling me? You are not doing enough. That's what I'm saying. You are not doing enough. And let somebody who is outside have the simple humility to hear me out. I am in a position where I can tell you what is happening, and it is terrible. It is very terrible. How many young men can buy a brand new car in Nigeria? How many young men can boast of a good house? We send you second-hand cars, and you're so happy to be driving a car that has been ridden for 15 years. And you go out to church and you present it as a brand new car. When these companies can come to your country, and do you know how much of your money, you know how much of Nigerian money is wasted every day? And the same people that are your leaders are this. Do you even understand how much these people have in bank accounts here? Do you know I do business? Do you know I do business? I do construction business. Do you know I'm in the real estate industry here? Do you know how many houses that people that we buy for people? What are you telling me? No, you really just got to me. All these things I'm doing, I'm comfortable. Honestly, I do not have to wake up in the morning and talk about Nigeria. I don't have to. I am very comfortable here. I have a construction company and I do well. Ask anybody who's a contractor in Canada, in North America. They make a lot of money. I don't have to do what I'm doing. I don't have to kill I don't have to. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you people? What's wrong with you people? I feed well. My family is well. I don't have to do this thing that I'm doing. So I'm tired of when you're doing this. People are there just talk. Just you're there arguing with me. Keep arguing with me now. Tomorrow I have light. Tomorrow I'll enter my nice car. I'll go and do my nice job. I have light 24 hours. I have medical. I walk into. I see a doctor. I want a car. I go and get a car. I'm well taken care of. I don't have to do I don't have to do this. I waste my time. I have headache about my country back home. And when I'm talking, you people try to attack me. That's very unfair. I don't have to do this. I don't have to do this. I don't have to talk about Apostle Suleman. I don't have to talk about the trouble in Nigeria. But it's because I care. It's because I care. Don't you understand? Do you know how much I make in an hour? $100, and if I make $100 an hour, do you know what $100 is? But $100 is 30,000 naira. And I can make it in an hour. Do you think I need to be wasting my time on talking about Nigeria? I don't have to. A lot of people here don't talk about Nigeria. They don't care. They don't bloody care. So if somebody is talking about it, the least you could do is just respect yourselves and let's think together. We're here watching Big Brother and wasting our time on things. And your life is just wasting away. 35, 45, 50 years, you don't have a company, you don't have investment, you don't have something to your name, and you don't think anything is wrong. How dare you say that? That's the problem now. That's the problem. You start talking, people will say, why are you talking? Oh, yeah, talk now. You will not talk. Who is talking anymore? You know the people are stealing you dry. You're not doing anything. You're complaining. There is no light. Probably a lot of you that are watching now are watching with generator from Nigeria. Every house is a small local government. You generate your power. You have your own borehole. You have your own satellite to watch cable. I don't have to do that here at all. Canada does not have, Canada has oil, but not as good oil as Nigeria. Beg, please. You think it's about church? You think why I waste my time is to talk about church? You think can't you see? I'm annoyed because it's beyond church. And the church that should be talking or doing something about, it's not doing anything. We're not doing anything. You go to church, you just preach about money, 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 money. Church is the same thing as a club now. Exactly. It's about have you seen a pastor land? You see how you follow pastors? When a pastor lands, somebody is carrying his Bible, somebody is carrying this, somebody is doing this. He comes with a very big car. He stays. Do you see the disparity? Do you see the disparity? And I have anything against pastors. You know how I feel about our pastors. And it's not everybody. There are some good pastors. But some people got it all wrong. You have it all wrong. You have your church that is just corrugated roofing sheet over an area. You have people who are making less than $1 in a day, a whole day of 8 hours job. They're making less than $1. The minimum wage here is about $12 an hour. Somebody makes in an hour what somebody makes in Nigeria in a whole month. Don't you understand? And you gather all these people under a roof, and you tell me you're driving a brand new Toyota Land Cruiser. God should punish you. You are wicked if you do that. Because the lady in your church cannot even pay the school fees of her daughter. The daughter is sick in the hospital, and she just brought her money to you, and you collect that money and you don't even know where she lives. You're telling me God is not angry with us? God is bloody. Let's stop this nonsense. Because you know, we all know. We all know. We all know when we preach the message and we tell people to just bring a good offering to God. God will bless you according to the size of your offering. Is that really what the Bible says? I've just tried to control myself. I try to be nice. I try to be, but it's no, 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 no. Come on, man. Come on. That's not what church is all about. All you have to do is start a church. Start a church, and within a few weeks, you change your clothing, you change your house. No. The church of the old, everybody brought what they had and they shared it, and everybody. Look at family. Do you know how we used to be in family worship center? Did you forget the kind of church we had in family worship center? We gave everything we had. I had a master's degree. I was an architect practicing in Abuja, but I had to go and live inside the church building. I lived in the church building with mosquito was biting me. I lived 4 years without light. Is that the kind of Christianity that people are practicing now? I used to eat mama. Did you forget 5 years? Did you forget? You're telling me that this church is the kind of church we're doing in Nigeria. Everybody's running around, challenging each other with how many the cars they're driving. Look at, is it just this case? Don't you know all the cases that we have in church of pastors sleeping with their people? Just forget that, you know. And what do? They go and use the military, use the police, use politicians. What's the difference now? What's the difference between the church and outside? Everything we do in the church is like the people outside. We do our parties like them. We do everything like them. What's the difference? We dress like them. We do everything like them. We challenge them. We compete with them. So when we're talking about this thing, people are just making noise. You finish challenging me. You finish criticizing me. Then you go. Think now. Look at me. Look at you. Do I have to do what I'm doing? Do I live there? Do you think I'm bothered? You really think I'm bothered? No, you absolutely think if I don't do what I'm doing, I will not have my light tomorrow, or it will stop me from going to work tomorrow. No, absolutely not. People should understand that it's out of love, it's out of compassion. I'm tired. We left school. When we were in school, we did riots, we protested, we did all kinds of stuff. The Nigerian youth, we've been so beaten down so badly. People have lost the sense of, we don't even know what we want anymore. People are tired. So let's own up. Let's agree that we are tired. Okay? There is no, see, I'm sounding so boastful. My brother, forget that thing. Oh, I'm just angry. I don't even have any apologies. What do you mean I'm sounding boastful now? Which kind of, anyway, I beg. I'm not sounding boastful. What do I have to boast about? I'm telling you the truth. You say I'm sounding boastful. And that's the problem. We don't want to hear the truth. Which one is sounding boastful? What is boastful about? I don't even know. I came here to talk about the case, but see, the reason why I am interested in the case is because of all this thing you heard me talking about. That's the driving force. That's why I cannot sit down and tolerate any more thing that looks like nonsense to me. That's why I want us to talk with facts. Let us be objective. Let us not give a blank check to anybody because they're a man of God or because they're a child of God. No. Let us just be objective and just discuss things. If there is a case, yes, there is a case. If someone has done wrong, they should apologize so that we don't continue to put ourselves in a bad light. I don't know again. We know all these things are happening now. Are we children? Not children. We're not children, I beg. We see all these things happening every day. We just keep quiet. These issues happen. We just talk about it quietly in the back. Uh-uh. Fine face, I beg. If Suleman did it and can't open up to accept it, um, fine face, you're saying if Suleman did it and Nigerians and have been privileged to be providentially empowered. Uh, Let me read this thing from the desktop. I can't read it from the from. I'm really sorry. This is not what I came to do, but you just have to know that this is the big problem that we have. It's big now. It's big. The wow. See, look at our beautiful country now. See Nigeria just run down completely. Just run down completely. Eh? This Stephanie case. I want us to talk about it. Talk about it like let's be objective. The lady has been putting up evidence out there. Let's look at it. Let the apostle and their people put up counter evidence. They just put counter evidence. That's all we are saying. And when you put up that counter evidence, we all can go and rest. But when we don't even say anything, it almost be sometimes it's almost like pride. Sometimes it looks like I don't even know what to call it. But the case will not just go away just because we don't want to deal with it. No, it won't go away now. It won't. Mm. Mm. Kevin, oh, it was you, Kevin. It was you that said, I'm sounding too boastful and forgetful of how all of what you are boastful of is graced. Now, God caused all of you, all for you and family. There is a reason God made it possible for you to be delivered. Okay? Intelligence and power, but grace. I'm happy for you, how far God has brought you. It shows what God can do in a man's life. Kevin, fine face. Emeka is on the line. Emeka. You, Kevin, fine face, you know me. You know me, you know Emeka. Pastor, I used to say that if you are a cat, small cat in Nigeria, you be a cat anywhere. If you're a lion in Nigeria, you be a lion anywhere. My brother, I see myself what I was anywhere. I am still that same person. I didn't change. I'm telling you, thank God for providence, but you can choose who you want to be, and I still remain who I am. It doesn't matter where you throw me. I'm not being boastful. I'm facing you with facts. What I need you to do is let us, I don't know what, you know what we all used to be. Let's just pick up from wherever we drop those things and continue. There's a reason why somebody like you, fine face, is the way you are. Just continue, even with this case. Throw yourself out there. You are a security expert, fine face. If anybody can even do something without being afraid, you of all people should be the one in the forefront. In Nigeria, you know that very well. If you want, we can coordinate. We can coordinate. You do things over there, I do things over here. There is a reason why we find ourselves in the position that we find ourselves. And if you do not, oh no, fine face, you're being personalized because you are my, okay, I won't talk about you again. Forget about it. No problem. You sound like a frustrated Nigerian. Don't Nigerians kill you? No, I've always talked like this. Please don't personalize, please. It's okay. It's okay. The topic we've been discussing is the apostle and some of the questions that were raised. And if I see any question here, I will go ahead and answer it. Some people had talked about the calls that we made to the father and the mother, and I tried to explain why we made that call. And what I think is going forward, I think people shouldn't take very strong sides in all this. Like I said, at the end of the day, you might even still find out that the girl was lying. There's no way of knowing. But if she was lying, like I've always told people, she will face the law. There's a law, and the law should take its course. And on the other hand, if the man of God has done wrong, he should apologize, and all this matter just ends, and we move on. Look at the beautiful work he was doing, standing up for Christianity. All that is no longer. The heat has died down. There is nobody else who is talking like him, but we should be able to separate this thing. There is a clear line. We should separate it. Is he going through what is going? Is he going through what is going? Because people have said the girl was hired by Boko Haram sponsors and cattle herdsmen. If I say that is not true, people will say misunderstand me. But really analyze it and see that this case started since 2015, and then it's been going on side by side, this Boko Haram thing. Just go and watch the video and you can see, so that we can stop saying what we are saying. Um, he said, but did you see the proofs? Are they fake? Patrice Smith. If we can post, the link to that video, that will really help people. When we post the link, we advise that people go and watch that video, and then you will see you are cursing and being boastful. God has blessed you, no doubt. Fine face, how am I cursing and being faithful? Okay, let's just leave it there. Um, um, the what I was saying is I really lost my thoughts. I really lost my thought there. This case will go on. When we call the parents and they said what they said, um, you know what, guys? Let's just pray let's just pray for these two people. And there's just so much confusion in Nigeria. There's so much confusion in the church. But the truth is what we just want to come out. The truth will eventually come out. Before the truth comes out, yeah, we can't stop talking about this thing. We're just gonna keep talking about it, and then keep praying for both of them until finally the truth comes out. So that's all I can say. Is any life under threat? Okay, the questions you were asking, you said, is any life under threat? I think um, 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 any threats? There's been threats on that life. Azubike, I think you should follow the story very well. She claimed that her life was threatened. That she bled. She was given something to drink. Patrice Smith, you're talking about the FaceTime pictures. Those FaceTime pictures are actually from her. My someone called me and kind of paused they interrupted it. I don't know how it came in. I'll try not to let that happen. But um, the FaceTime thing was actually in her phone memory. And what she's going to do is she's going to get an expert, a forensic. She's going to be able to have some people who are authorities in that area to be able to say if that was in her from her phone or not. I'm not an expert, so um, uh, again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not. That's not what I'm doing here. And you sound like I've already taken a side or judge case. I've not done that. What we're saying is, so if it is your job now, so go and again, I don't have anything against it. Go ahead, do your own interview or release a statement there. It's welcome. I appreciate that it's your job. I'm just a media person and I'm putting something out there. Patrick Smith, he said, okay, I believe her story. I don't care what people say. All right, that's good. Good for you, Patrick. Good for you. A lot of people believe the apostle's story. A lot of people believe the girl's story. My own is, let's just have a fair ground. Let's have a fair playing ground. It is possible that the girl is lying. It is also possible, with due respect, that the apostle is lying. But let's not say, oh, the apostle can never lie, or say, oh, only the girl can lie. That's not a good way to look at things. I'm gonna stop the video here. People can always go back and watch the video. I sincerely want to apologize if I've really upset anybody by the way I reacted when I lost it there, and it's I just can't help it. I'm that passionate. So many Nigerians here that I know of so many Nigerians here in Canada who are just passionate in the same way, who are tired with what is going on in Nigeria, and would love to see better things happening in Nigeria. That's what this is all about. We want people. Anytime you want to do something here, you think of people back home. Every time, not once, not twice. In every area of your life here, you keep thinking about people back home. We would like to see things come to normalcy. We would like to see the president of the country come up with his team, come up with something. As long as people have a better life, as long as people have free medical services, as long as people have access to education, that's what this is all about. Churches are there to help people. As long as churches help people, there won't be any problem. But if people, if churches use people, if churches abuse people, if churches abandon their work and do other things, then people will always continue not to be happy about things. So let's just keep both parties in our prayers. It's not easy for the man of God to be in the spot where he is right now. I don't pray to be in that kind of spot. So I also don't pray to be in the spot that the young lady is in. Apache Smith, what can you do to support her? For now, I would just say just pray for her. Just pray for her. She needs a lot of prayers. She's in a period in her life where she's doing a total change. She accepts what she's done. She's repented. She asks for forgiveness. She's turned a new leaf. She's even she's gone back to the studio and she's doing her songs again. And she's going through, and that's what Christ really wants, when people turn around and we win them back to Christ. Let's just keep praying for her. I would like to stop on that note and just thank everybody for tuning in. Just keep praying for us, keep praying for our families, keep praying for let's just keep praying for our country. This is Chidi signing out.